So I think like printmaking is one of the passion, one of my love at first sight. But the thing is about how can you continuing love at first sight is part of that. It have to be a economy, business, managing to be success as well.
Hello, print friends, and welcome to the 55th episode of Pine Copper Line, the internet's #1 printmaking podcast. I'm your host, Miranda Metcalf. I release weekly podcasts with people in the print world who are doing something a bit beyond the expected. So please subscribe on your podcast listening app of choice. You can also find Pine Copper Line on Instagram and Facebook, and you can sign up for our monthly newsletter with print news from around the world, all at pinecopperline.com. We also have a Patreon page, where, if you like what we do, and you want to throw us a few dollars each month, it helps keep the lights on and our spirits high. Printmaking forever, shun the non-believers. My guest this week is Kitikong Tilokwattanotai. Kitikong is the founder and director of the Chiang Art on Paper studio located in Northern Thailand. I've known Kong for years, and I am very excited to bring you his story today. He is the hardest working man in the print business, and through his dedication and passion for this medium, he's built a world-renowned studio, an international network of artists, and the reputation for being an incredible printer, friend, and host. He and his studio have been mentioned in passing in past episodes of Pine Copper Lime over the years, because in one way or another, all roads in the contemporary printmaking scene here in the Eastern Hemisphere lead back to Chiang Mai art on paper. In our chat, we talk about the history of printmaking in Thailand, or, as you might be surprised to learn, the lack thereof, and how Kong built his business from his studio apartment, which basically had only space for a bed, a press, and a toilet, to the gorgeous 3-story building with 4 full-time printmaking employees that he has today. We also talk about what printmaking might look like in our post-COVID world. So, without further ado, sit back, relax, and prepare to say Sawadee Ka to Kitikong Tilokwattanotai. Hi Kong, how's it going?
I'm being good. I'm really good here. Chiang Mai is pretty good weather now, and then it's rainy season. All green, nice, really beautiful.
Well, I'm really excited to have you on the podcast because I was thinking about this before, and you may be the person that I know the most, or for the longest, out of anyone who I've had on.
Before I get married, before I got the kids as well.
Yes, before I got married. Like, I met you at my very first SGCI in San Francisco, which is years ago now. And we've worked together.
Accidentally, isn't it? Yeah. Accidentally that we kind of like bumping into each other, which is...
Yeah, and it was so funny because it was the buses weren't working and we all kind of got lost and we ended up meeting each other. And then I ended up showing your work at the gallery and showing the work of your studio and got to go to your wedding. It's been
right. Since there, we've been like continuing like relationship, and then going back and forth to visiting each other.
It's been so great. And so I'm really excited to ask you some questions that I know parts of the answers to, but I'm excited to also learn more about your story and the story of C.A.P Studio. But before we kind of dive into all of that, would you introduce yourself and just let people know who you are, where you are, what you do?
My name is Kitikong Tilokwattanotai, a Chiang Mai artist. Basically, like I'm doing all kind of media, painting, sculpture, ceramic, or mixed media as well. But my mainly love is printmaking, and then I'm being a director of Chiang Mai Art on Paper studio called C.A.P Studio as well. Everyone call me just short word Kong.
Although, as I've said before, I like to call you Kitikong, but you said it maybe feels you a little bit like you're in trouble when you get the full
Yeah,
name. Yeah.
it's all about like the culture. Everyone
Yeah.
calling like full name. Everyone just get shocked like, what? I did something wrong or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll try and
Right.
just call
But I
you.
get used to now. I get used to now. Yeah.
Yeah, because well, I mean, you've got friends all over the world, so I'm sure
Yeah.
that a lot of people call you Kitty Kong, and a lot of people just call you Kong. But
Yeah.
I'll try to call you Kong in this, so you'll stay relaxed. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
So as you said, you're based in Chiang Mai, which is in the northern part of Thailand.
Right. It's northern part of Thailand, and in the past history time, like northern part of Thailand is called Lana. They do their own like dialogue speaking here, different kind of food, different character of the people, and being more chill on the north part than like Bangkok, because Bangkok is kind of like a big city, so people just been like working fast, a lot of competitive there, and then people doing like a busy. But Chiang Mai is more like relaxed, a lot of like coffee culture here. People like to sit down, have some coffee all day long, and then people here is more like living beside of like the mountain nature. Yeah, so people here more relaxed, a lot more relaxed. Yeah, than any
Yeah, it's
town
an
in Thailand.
incredible city. I've been there a few times to see you and Cap Studio, and I think
Right.
anyone who hears this should, when borders open up when we're traveling again, like Chiang Mai is an amazing
Yeah.
city.
Chiang Mai is a good place, né? Because of like they got international airport, a lot of tourists coming, a lot of like festival and culture over here as well. Hotel is a lot. They got like really like up to high end hotel, fancy hotel until like the budget hotel all over Chiang Mai. So you can live inside of the town, which is like a kind of like a not so big town, but it's good fit for like people come, hang out and being like living in Chiang Mai and outside of Chiang Mai, which is like more natural over there. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then the main symbol is about like elephant as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. There's lots of the actual
Elephant
the
sanctuary.
good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones where they're not like making the elephants do tricks, but you actually just get to go and feed them, and it's yeah, incredible. But yeah, so that's where you're based now. But where did you grow up, and what role did art play in the early part of your life?
I born in Lampang, which is my hometown over there, about 100 kilometers from Chiang Mai. And never left Lampang until I have to get to study art in fine art in Faculty of Fine Art, Chiang Mai
Mm.
University. I think that was 1996. Yeah, to doing undergrad at Chiang Mai University, and that how I been serious about art at that
Mm.
time. Yeah, and first I get into university. I do painting major at the first year. I didn't know anything about printmaking at all. Never.
Hmm.
No one, not many people know about printmaking. Even like you being a kids here, they don't have any history of printmaking in Thailand.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like the first year they got one classes that everyone have to try on the different media like painting, printmaking, sculpture, installation, mixed media. They kind of like giving you to test on the different thing to find your character or find your love, and that's how I found my love at first sight,
Aw.
which is printmaking. So I decided to do the paperwork to change my major from painting to become like printmaking at that time. So I get to study printmaking for another 4 years in the undergrad, in the different media like woodcut printing, lino cut printing, monoprints, etching, lithography, silk screen, everything. Yeah, and graduate with the printmaking project.
And so, for your family, like, were there any other artists in your family, or like what did your parents do, or what did your parents think of you taking on printmaking?
That's a long fight. That's a long fight
Oh no.
with all my family. Yeah, I'm sure like a lot of like artists they have that problem as well in
Yeah.
my time. But like right now, everyone be more open about like art for the child. But in the past, it's not at all. Especially in Thailand, everyone want you to be like a doctor, engineering, architecture, accounting, or whatever that you can find a good job. They guarantee that you can make your own money and then survive. But art is is something like they never have any ideas about that, what they're gonna do or what you're gonna do with art and the thing. But I would say like I am a first one in my family who just like kind of like a black sheep. So I'm going to art, and then I got angry with from my mom at that time until like I proved myself. I've been like a long track that I'm walking through, and then I proved myself like I can be survive with that, and then now she more understanding about that, but
Yeah.
still confused.
Yeah, I feel like I remember you telling me once that she just,
Yeah.
it was sort of a long, like a steep learning curve for her to understand that people were actually spending
Right.
hundreds of dollars on sheets of paper. That she was
Yeah.
just like, she's like, that doesn't make sense. Why would someone do that?
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Which is kind of
Because of
funny.
like she is just like high school teacher, so she teaching in chemistry class, and then my father he is a banker and he early retired. Yeah, and now he just doing like farm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So you talked about something just kind of in passing that I'd love to hear you just maybe explain a little bit more, because it probably will surprise people to learn that Thailand doesn't have a printmaking history. That it's almost entirely 20th century
yeah,
is the 20th century is
yeah.
when printmaking came, which is really unusual because a lot of places do have some kind of printmaking, but not Thailand.
Right. And I think like if we're gonna talk about like Thailand history in the past, they do some kind like a Buddha script, which is similar. So they're using kind of like a dry leaf, and then they're using like needle to draw it onto the dry leaf and inking and leave it dry on the leaf as a book, like a record, like kind of like recording into the leaf, and the leaf that's make from like it make it like a book. And that's something that's similar with etching, but they don't print it out. They keep it as a book like that. Yeah, but the technology of like printmaking it doesn't been developed from there until I think about 70 years, 80 years ago. They kind of like got introduced by commercial prints. Like they brought the machine here, brought the stone, and then start to doing like poster by lithography. And that how just some group of people who doing commercial prints understand. But it doesn't get into like fine art technique or anything at all at that time. So they use it for commercial.
Wow, that's really interesting that, yeah, that it not only did it take that long to kind of arrive in
Right.
Thailand, but that it actually came through commercially, which does make sense.
Yeah, basically, like Thailand got introduced printmaking by commercial stuff instead of like fine art creative. And then Silpakorn University get some, now they become, or they become like professor in Silpakorn University. In the past, they've been a student who graduated from Silpakorn University. And then they kind of like funding them to be like study printmaking in Italy, and then like some Poland, some German, and then brought them back and then start printmaking class in Silpakorn University, and that how like printmaking it gets started. Then after second generation of the student graduate from printmaking in Silpakorn University, they spread them teaching in like northern part, south, east, west university. So kind of like Chiang Mai University is a second generation of like printmaker. over there, and then start the printmaking department over there. So then they're kind of like getting more and more.
So it's really just within like the last couple generations that fine art printmaking really started to take off in Thailand, so that you were able to be exposed to it at university.
Exactly. And then like from there, it making everyone in Thailand still don't understand printmaking and don't know unless you had been studying. So you appreciate, you understand the whole technique. You know that printmaking is some kind of like art form. But normal people, collectors, and everyone who has seen the printmaking, they don't understand. They thought it's a commercial.
Right.
Everyone focus in painting still.
And so, yeah, so you got to come along at the right time to get to experience it at university. And like you said, it was the kind of love at first sight.
When I was a student, I really fell in love with like printmaking a lot. And I've been talking with all my friends like, after the school, how can I continuing printmaking? Because of like the press is expensive, and before you're gonna buy a press, you need a permanent space. That
Yeah.
because the press is like a ton, 2 ton that you cannot moving around. So it's kind of like a big invest to starting up studio. And then how could I do it? I'm just a kid. I'm just like a boy who just nearly graduate from the school, and continuing printmaking in that time, it was like everyone have to be a lecturer to be able to use it, the facility at the school to still continuing their own practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once you're out and then you cannot be a lecturer, so you don't have any equipment to work on your own. And that's a really hard thing in that time. And then I decided to continuing my study. So I moved to Sydney to study master in printmaking over there with Michael
Yeah.
Kimson.
Yeah. Why Sydney? How did you find UNSW out of all the places you could go in the world?
To be honest, before didn't know anything at all. It's just like choose like Australia is kind of popular for Thai people at that time. So first I didn't expect to study in master, but I just been expect to study English only. The
Oh,
first time
okay.
I'm being arrived in Sydney, I couldn't speak English at all,
Oh my gosh.
just zero. Kind of like it's sort of like someone leave you in the bush, and then you have to
Yeah.
find your own way. And then that's a really hard. Like I'm being get stressed for like 3 months long. I was stressed, yeah, because of I couldn't communicate with anyone, and then one in my mind, I got some friends over there, but people in Australia, they kind of like everyone have to work all the time, and then they have to earn your living over there, and they're living over there, and no one have much time like in Thailand you can hang out with.
Yeah.
So
Not as
basically,
much.
you're on your own.
Not as much coffee culture. Yeah.
Right. And then that's how I become like more stronger over there, how to survive. You're out with your family treat over here. You have to fix any problem yourself and thing. And once I decide like, okay, I want to do like master over here. I really love Australia a lot at that time as well. Even now, yeah, I really love Australia, and I think like, okay, I want to do a master degree over there. So I do research on the school, and I found like UNSW College of Fine Art cover at that time. And I think like, okay, this is the best option that I could, but study there is really difficult for some people who cannot speak English at all. So I spent 2 years to get into the university with the English course. And before I get into the master, the thing is about like my mark, my point is not even rich to get to study. And one of the teacher who teach me and then have a permission to put me in, he asked me to see him in the teaching room and asking like, you are the one that kind of like got low mark. Can you like changing your direction to something else? I said like I can't. Otherwise, if I cannot get into master, I have to fly back to Thailand. And he been checking up in the course for me, and then he come back with like, okay, I do believe in you. Like you can continue and study here, and then you can be able to work it out. And then he changing my mark and let me in.
Oh, wow.
And that's I'm kind of like he break the rule to get me in, give me a chance for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't let him down. Once I get in, I'm work hard, I'm study hard, I'm do everything to be giving him proud with me.
Yeah.
And everything had like a destiny to push me in.
Yeah. Because I know like how hard you work, and I know how hard you work to build C.A.P Studio. I feel like I had no idea it came down to just like that one moment of someone just being like, all right, we're going to give you a shot. And then they feel like this whole
Right.
time you've just been like, I'm going to prove them right. Like, I'm going to prove it wasn't. Yeah.
And that is kind of like, you're promising someone and then you have to make it true.
Yeah.
It's part of like, kind of like a printmaker and master printer as well. So it's not just let the work go, not just like you cannot finish it, you cannot do it, you just throw it away. No, you can't. You have to push yourself into like the end of it.
Yeah, you have to make it work.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Right.
Wow.
And then how I found Michael Kempson as a mentor. And he teach me a lot of things. He took me to be like his assistant, helping like Regiment Massa to print. That's the first print that inspired me a lot to bring it back, that idea to start up the studio in Thailand.
Right. Yeah. So you were working at C.A.P Press.
Right.
And, they do publishing there. And was that the first time you'd seen this model where, an artist can come in and work with a master printer and they'll make the prints? Had you ever seen that before? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right. They don't exist in Thailand before, that kind of like model. And maybe they had, but it's kind of like it doesn't work. And then they close it down. I have heard like a lot of big name artists in Thailand that they're kind of like trying to start up custom prints in Thailand, but it doesn't work well at the time. Yeah, so everyone just giving up and then turn themselves to be like a full-time artist, and everyone become like famous now.
So to your knowledge then, when you got your master's degree and you went back to Thailand and you decided you were going to start your own studio, there was none like it in the country at that time, as far as you know?
Right.
Oh,
right.
That's amazing.
At first, I'm starting it, and everyone just seem like get confusing with what I'm doing because of what is going to be work, and how it's going to be work, how it's going to be like working together with the other. Because of in terms of like artists in the past, everyone have to do their own work in Thailand. Yes, it is. You have to do your own work, but finishing on the plate. But the master printer helping you to do the edition, publishing it. So I try to explain that. So many artists, just some few that they do believe, and then they kind of like understand. So I got a chance to be able to start with big name artist. His name Kamin Lechai Prasad. He giving me a chance because of before I get to see him and ask him to be do collaboration print with me. He kind of like I reading his like CV.
Yeah,
and
I was
one
gonna say, Kamin
line,
was the first
artist.
person you worked
Yeah.
with. That's like
Right.
stressful, going straight to the top there.
Right. Right. But on the other hand, it is like I'm being researched in the different CV of artists at that time, and Kamin got one line on his CV saying he used to be master printer in America before. It's just like, okay, this artist, I don't need to explain too many things to him to understand. I just going to see him and ask him like, I have some small studio in my small apartment. That's how I start with, and like I want to be a printmaker. I want to do my own work, and I want to print for the artists as well. Would you be able to be doing some collaboration with me? How that I can get start and get the people in Thailand to know about this. And he just like going up straight. He gave me the sketch and then try me into like enlarge it into the big size of like woodcut printing. And I take that job. I cannot wait. When the chance come, you have to be fast. I took like 2 nights long to 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 print it out and then bring it to show him, and he just like surprising. So that's how we start. We start like 24 prints, 24 edition, and then 25 prints out of the edition for 6.5 months long. And then the whole set it get sold to the museum in Japan before everything has done. So they already like book it.
That's it. That's such an incredible way to start, because at that point, like you said, you just were working from your like studio apartment with your press like in the middle of the floor.
I'm eating, sleeping, and working in that some small studio there. Kind of like it's on my dream about like once I study in Sydney in the past, and I feel like once I graduate, I want some place that I can be able to work anytime I want to. So it's supposed to be like a small space or small house that I have a press there, so I can sleep and whatever whenever I got an idea, I can go straight to the studio. And then that's how I get started. So I borrowed the money from my aunt and then buying a press and return her later on.
And so then, you got this first incredible project with Kamin, and then got sold. Yeah. So your first edition is in a gallery in Japan. That's not bad. Not a bad start. Yeah. Or is in a museum in Japan. Yeah, not too shabby. And so then after that, was it a bit easier to find artists to work with? Did like word kind of get out, or did people understand a
Not
little
at
bit
all.
More? No,
not at all. If you want to go start, you go like loud, you go shout, and then people can listening. And then it just coincidentally that I been able to work with Carmen, because of Carmen is already like a big name, big established at that time. And then that first project had been showing in Bangkok University Art Space in Bangkok, and everyone just start to ask like, where did you doing this? And then the whole system is become a word of mouth, people talking, and then I got contact from a different artist since then.
Okay, yeah. How long were you in the apartment before you were had enough to put a down payment on an actual building?
Yeah, 3 years.
Okay, that's
all like 3 years in there. But can you imagine apartment about like 4 by 5 meters?
Yeah.
Size, and then including toilet, and then the press is over there and table inking up on the other side. So it just got a walkway, small walkway about 1 by 2 meters that I can walk around the studio. And then I live, sleep, eat, work in that small room there for 3 years. Yeah, I know it sounds pretty crazy and pretty bad for like healthy, but when you got no choice, you have to ask yourself like passion is the most important at that age and that time.
Way that you were just able to completely immerse yourself in it and work so hard. I mean, I think that's has to be why it only took 3 years for you to get to the point where you could actually buy the studio that you own now, because that's beautiful. I mean, it's 3 stories and it's right in a beautiful arts district, and you've got space there for artists to stay when you were doing residencies, and it's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is about at the beginning of like moving to the building, it's not that easy at all, because of I would say like my bank account got only I would say $100 in my saving. And then at that time, I'm being a guest lecturer at the university to earn the salary just $100 per month. And this building, it costs you like how much it in dollars, about like
How much is it in how much was it in baht?
it's like 3,600,000.
Yeah, it's 115,000. Yeah.
Yeah, for my age, it's about like 27, 28 years old, and I have to decide to buy this building or not. And that's so crazy. And then I'm working out for like 3 months long with my best friends who want to get involved with this project as well. Yeah, his name like Pongpat Vilachkun, and he kind of like he grew up with me, but he is engineering. He doesn't have the money as well. We are so young. We're still like starting up in our career. And then I talk about this project with him, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm in." I'm like, "Do you have money?" No. And that is just like crazy young guy
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah. And it's like, "Oh, no, it's okay. We're gonna work it out."
Yeah, it'll
And
be fine.
we spending like three months long to find out the money, until like we got loaned the money from the bank, from my uncle helping me with that. So basically, like, my uncle loaned the bank for me, and I have to pay him back the money. So sort of like he guarantee that money by his name. Yeah. So I'm kind of like lucky. I got the people who kind of like giving me a shot to move on. What about my dream? What my dream is about. And then but the thing is about I have to pay him back $1,000 per month for 15 years. But I still earn like $100 a month. And that's so crazy. That's the first payment I have to pay him. I not even like having any money to pay him.
Yeah. So
It's
then
kind of like a drama. It's kind of like a drama.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So what did you do? Did you just like start to dedicate yourself to working in the studio as much as you could to try and make the payments? Or how did you go from only making like $100 a month to getting to the point where you could make the payments?
I desperate at that time, and then I have to think of what I have on my hand. So basically, I got two set of Carmin that the first artist I printing with on my hand for my collection. I got two set, which is mean like I can cut off one set to sell, and who gonna buy it? So I contact like some collector that been supporting me since there, and I got only one person that I know like being collector, and I asked him like I would like to sell the first set, this set of Carmin for you in the good price. Before that, I asked permission for Carmin to be allow me to sell it in a little lower price on the market. But he said like you can do it because of like it's the right for you to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like asking him permission, and then he allowed me. So I contact the collector, and then the collector just bought it. So I got 1 year straight paying back to the bank. So extend my desperate for another year to think of. It's kind of like buying time, So you have to like be long shot everything like you're thinking. So I think like printmaking is one of the passion, one of my love at first sight. But the thing is about how can you continuing love at first sight is part of that. It have to be a economy, business, managing to be success as well. So that's how I kind of like interested in like managing and economy and business part of this. And then I along the year that I have to think of the way to survive in the next year, I come up with a new idea about a sponsorship. Yeah, which is like I asking collector or people who interested in printmaking to be supporting me, like a contract by year long, and then they pay me like a monthly, like a kind of like I'm being a labeling. They pay me a 15,000 baht per month for like 12 months contract from January to December. So I got one interested. So I got like $5,000 on my hand to pay off the house. Then the second one interested, the third one interested, and then become like I have to be limited 10 at the year to get that income funding to be able to like move on. And then I use that money to buying equipment to pay for the staff member team, and then supporting them to create their own work as well, and then invite the artist come without paying anything. Artist doesn't need to pay for like production or anything, so the artists have to be able to work in the studio with us, to be providing all equipment for him, for them, for her, and then working on the plate with our expertise technique technicians to help them create.
Yeah, because it's not just you at C.A.P Studio. You have, is it 4 full-time employees or 5? I can always...
Four.
4, yeah.
Four of them.
I think I got confused with 5 because I saw Dai sweeping the floor
including
the other
me.
day. Yeah.
Including me. Dai is still new member.
Yeah.
Not be full time yet.
Not yet.
Dai is my child.
Yeah. Maybe by the time he's 3, you can get him full time. But yeah. So you've got the 4 full time members. Then you're saying they were your students at the university, and now they work with the artists and they produce the editions and they help keep the studio clean and do all of that. Yeah.
So I supporting them like accommodation, monthly salary, and all equipment that they can use it in the studio, electricity, water supply, everything I pay for them. And then once they're creating their own work, they can be able to exhibit or sell it, and then get the full money, all of that. Yeah
It's such an incredible situation for them as young artists, it seems like, because
right.
Not only do they have 24-hour access to a great etching studio, but
right.
They've got your support, and they've got the experience of working with artists from all over Thailand and all over the world, and it just must be so rich for them to have that exposure and to be able to work on their own practice alongside working with these artists.
Right, and become like a good friend with all artists over the world. And then once they kind of like flying to Japan, they got some artists there waiting for them to be like, guide them, take care of them, and been staying with some artists over there as well. So like Amarin had been like to Australia, have been working with Michael Kempson for a month, went to Japan to develop his own creative to like ceramic with one of the Japanese artists who've been working printing with us. We went to Singapore and visiting Singapore, Thailand, and then people just like, oh, you're from Chiang Mai, do you know C.A.P Studio? Everyone just been like so proud with that, like we are from C.A.P Studio. And then it's been exciting. And then we got some friends from like Singapore, Thailand to came visit after.
It's amazing because you're building that international network, but then I feel like you've also put a lot of effort into building printmaking in Chiang Mai, which I think has really spread out over the last few years. To be printmaking in Thailand is now so exciting. The incredible work that comes out of Thailand, like technically, conceptually, it's really, really exciting time for printmaking.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, and also like Chiang Mai is a good place because of like, it's perfect place. People came, they don't need to work in the studio for full time a day. So they might be like, for the whole process, it could take like a week to finishing the plate and the printing, or, it depends on the deal. But the artists came to Chiang Mai working on the plate. They might take like a week or a few days, and then they can like traveling, sightseeing. Chiang Mai, they got a lot of places for for people can be enjoy.
I think that, yeah, Thailand is not a place that you have to usually push too hard to get people to want to travel to in general.
Yeah. Also, like I try to take balance of like people come for work and for like experiences as well. If they just come for work at the studio, I would feel like, no, you guys have to be like out to sightseeing, learn some culture, see the temple, meet up the people. Sometimes I took them to see another artist as well to make a connection worldwide. And then once they come back, Chiang Mai become their own home as well, their own hometown as well, that people can come a second hometown. They feel like relax and come back to see their family here. It's a part of like community.
Yeah, it's exactly what happened to me.
Because of Thai people is kind of like friendly. They're
Yeah.
kind of like sometimes they've been shy as well, but once you're breaking out their ice, you just get close to them straight.
Yeah. How long has Cap Studio in its current iteration? How long has that been? So from when you bought the
I
building
think like
to now.
if you count at the first that I start in the apartment, I already call like Chiang Mai Art on Paper, even like
Yeah.
it's just about 4x5 meters
Oh, really?
square. Yeah, yeah. But the name have to be put it straight because of like you wouldn't know like the name could take it from somebody else in the next time. So I have to make a name first, and then I moved to this building in Niman district. If including everything, is from 2003, 17, 18 years
Yeah.
already, right?
Yeah, you're going to have
Right.
to start thinking about a big 20-year celebration. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and hopefully, like the next plan would like to be expanding and
Yes.
getting bigger because of this. A lot of things being collect in the studio is too many already now.
Yeah.
3 floors are kind of like full up.
Yep.
Fill up. Yeah,
That's what happens at print studios.
yeah. It needs
Yeah.
another room.
Yeah. So, so we've talked about how you fell in love with printmaking and you've started the shop and it, supports these 4 artists and you work with all these people and you've got a family and you're an artist yourself still. And, you just had a exhibition in France that
Yes.
every piece sold. So congrats again
Yeah.
on that.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much.
so do you have more than 24 hours in a day, or how do you do it? How do you
That kind
balance?
like a secret. Yeah, that
Yeah.
kind like secret because of like I would say my mentor is the same thing. He kind of like sleepless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know him pretty well because we've been working together. We've been like traveling together so many times with Michael Kempson, and he's kind of like a workaholic, and that is transfer. It can be transfer. I could say I got sleepless like average of like 3 or 4 hours a day for almost like 20 years. It's not just try not to be not. It's not about like try not to sleep, but it couldn't sleep because the brain is working all the time.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah. And then, but now I sleep more,
That's good.
more than before for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. But in the past, like when it gets started and everything, it's kind of like sleepless, working in the day for another artist, and then in the night working for my own work. So a lot of people haven't seen I'm working at all because I'm work alone in the studio or either like painting in the studio. Yeah. So only on my team that sometimes they help me work, and then they can see me working.
Right. Yeah, I think I remember hearing you say that once, that it's, part of it is to inspire your team, because it's like if they see you working really
Yeah.
hard and working all the time, it's like okay, like it's just like you with your mentor Michael, you saw
Yeah.
it and you're like, all right, I guess this is how we do it. And
Right.
yeah, and so you're like, okay, we'll just all be working all the time.
Yeah. But the thing is about like passion is the most important. Everyone don't have equal, what they call like equal passion, like a level of passion in different way. Yeah, so sometimes they kind of like a being passion, but they more like concerning their living more, or lifestyle more. So it depends. So that's why I call Michael Kimson as my mentor, because of like this is what I like to be, and I found him, he found me, and then we kind of like match, and then or his footstep that he walking along. So I would love to like you learn from him to be able to achieve something that I I I want, but it might be different achievement with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
same road, same path.
Same path. Yeah. Of just like being
Yeah,
so driven by this
right.
medium and by the kind of the lifestyle of the master printer, of getting to work with these artists from around the world, of building that community, and of also doing your own art as well. Yeah.
And I'm just like enjoying, because of when you love something, you don't feel like you're working.
Yeah.
You just enjoy it. You like traveling, you're just traveling. People say like, you be tired to traveling all over the world. Say like, no, it's my passion. Yeah, I love it though.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, speaking of travel and you know, working with all these different artists, how's the COVID-19 lockdown been for you and for Cap Studios?
Uh, Actually, I would say like they affect me less, not so much, because of Cap Studio. It been planning system to be like working year by year, so everything is been already planned before Thailand got COVID spreading in Thailand, and then it been locked down. So this everything is still like running as the same, but it's affect a little bit about like we slow it down because of or the team cannot work at the same time. So it's kind of like a social distancing.
Right, yeah.
So like one person work in front, one person work in back side, and then everyone wear the mask, and then we got a holiday longer. Like normally we close on Monday, but once early spreading out COVID-19, we kind of close it about 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, and then get start over again.
Yeah, because Thailand's actually done really well in
Yeah, yeah.
terms of cases, and I know that part of that is that Thailand has a really fantastic just healthcare system, but
Right.
also, you know, there's no handshaking. You're not like these Australians who want to give everyone like a
All
hug
right,
and a kiss,
the culture thing. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah,
Right,
so
and
there's
also
less
like
contact, but yeah.
a lot been co-accidentally in Thailand as well. Like we got the problem with PM 2.5 just before COVID, and everyone wearing masks at that time.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
suddenly like COVID come, so maybe like COVID would be die with the PM 2.5. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah.
So behavior of Thai people is kind of like they've been not fit into the condition of like COVID-19 could be spread because of like Thai people wearing masks to protect themselves from like to PM 2.5 at that early happen, and also like we don't shake hand, we don't hug, we got like a distance of privacy distancing. So cool. It everything is kind of like perfect condition over here for that. And people like to stay home. No, not well public transport, which is like people driving a car,
Yep.
so they don't
Yeah, that's
be in
true.
like too many public outside.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're either on your own motorbike with your helmet on, or you're in your own car.
And that's helped a lot. And then right now it's kind of like turn it kind of like back into normal. But I do believe like everything is being like shrinking down, or the business or the community is been shrinking and focusing on the small group of like local thing, because of tourists cannot flying into Thailand. We cannot fly out yet. The whole world going to be like focused on their own local, and that's good. So it's making like nationality is more stronger been realizing what we have, what we have done, like we have our own culture which is strong, the agriculture really good, everything gonna be like in their own country. I think like every country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's given us a chance to stop and really think about the momentum
Right.
that we had. We were just doing everything. It is the way it
Right.
is because that's the way it's always been, and all of a sudden we're forced to freeze and we need to think about like what do we really care about? How do we really want to
Right.
adjust
Got back to your
things?
family, got back to your hometown, got back to your own country, and got back to yourself. Because sometimes you forget, like you realize it when everything got cut off. You cut off from like traveling. You cut off from like being social. You
Mhm.
cut off from like if you can cut off your mobile phone, you would be back into yourself
Yeah.
for
You
sure.
have to be. You have to be.
But the thing would be changed. I'm sure like the thing would be changed. Online would come to take over. Yeah, and then the whole thing we I would say in terms of like printmaking, we have to think if we want to keep printmaking alive. We have to think like how we adapt ourselves into the new world, new normal. Like everything is become online now, and how can we gonna get printmaking? Printmaking is sort of like physical, touching, feeling. It's not about like screen touching and thing. And how can we take balance of those two into the new world? Because we cannot stop online. Online gonna become it's gonna become online anyway. Everything. This is how can we survive? We have to help each other think about that.
Because as you said, it's not online is not going anywhere. It's only going to be more so. And I'm
Right.
hoping that buying art online starts to become a new normal for people.
Yeah.
And I've never, I would never want to see the gallery or the printing studio, like that experience, disappear. I think that seeing art in person is tremendously important and so much more important than
I
people give it
agree.
credit for. But
Yeah.
I also wouldn't mind if people just were more hopeful of being like, hey, there's this great print studio in Thailand, and I've never been to Thailand, but I'll buy one of their prints and just
Yeah.
on good faith, and just like know
Yeah.
that I like the image. I'll probably like it more in person. Like that's the thing about art is that particularly more graphic art, like what printmaking tends to be, is that if you
Right.
like it on your screen, tiny and backlit, you're probably going to
Yeah.
love it even more in person. And it's
Definitely.
very rarely it goes the other direction. So I hope people just
Yeah.
have a little more faith in buying things online and choose to do it more.
Oh, it been like memorizing. All printmaking is all like a kind of like a record something. When you saw it, when I want to be convincing people to think about like once you saw some art piece. I didn't want to just say a printmaking, any art piece.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when the people has seen any art piece, whatever, printmaking, painting, sculpture, ceramic, or whatever, and then you feel like a love at first sight. You love it so much. Don't leave it. Don't leave it.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like you don't feel regret if you want to earn it, want to take it home, and then you see it every day. It seems like once you found, don't leave it away.
Yeah. I
Right.
think that's really beautiful.
Right.
Well, before we sign off for the evening,
Yep.
could you let people know what's kind of on the future for CAP and for you that maybe they can keep an eye out for, and then where people can find you online on our screens to follow it and see that?
I would not promise for for Cap Studio that can be able exist in the future, but I would promise I would do the best to keep Cap Studio alive as long as I could. And then my feel like I want CAP to be a legend of Chiang Mai. I want CAP to be a center of printmaking in Thailand, and also like Chiang Mai. I would love Chiang Mai to be a center of printmaking in Thailand, because of this town is really perfect for printmaker. Because of traveling is so easy, the community is strong, and then natural is inspiring. And I try to convincing a lot of young printmaker to start up their own studio. And now if I count not wrong, it's already started like 18 studio printmaking studio in Chiang Mai that hiding in a different, even like private one, or custom print one.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I feel like that's your dream, and I feel like you're already well on the way there. Like Chiang Mai is such a print town, and it's so inspiring to see what you've done to help build that, and the energy there around printmaking is amazing. And I hope that as soon as we can travel again, anyone who hears this will mark Chiang Mai down and CAP Studio down as a place that they need to come visit, because it'll change your life to see that kind of energy and joy around printmaking that you've built in Chiang Mai.
And if anyone who want to be follow CAP Studio, please on the Facebook we got C.A.P.Studio, CAP Studio, and Instagram.
And I'll put a link in the show notes to Instagram and the website and Facebook, and then to your Instagram so people can see your own work. Yeah,
please be supporting printmaking, whatever. It doesn't need to be CAP, but keep printmaking alive. Is really rare. It's getting more difficult for all printmaking. But the thing is, we want to make it more better. It's I think if anyone who could be able to supporting printmaking, please do, because this is should be exist in the world, and then keep on going, keep developing, and then the world would be more better than COVID-19.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Miranda, K. McCall, and Pai Koparam for this interview as well. I'm really appreciate that what you're doing. This Pai Koparam is a good one. That being a really good one, to be honest, for printmaking. And then I think this is the other direction to be educating or acknowledging, and for people interested in printmaking and find appreciation in printmaking from your talk.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
ครับยินดีครับ
And yeah, I'm really excited to continue to work together and to share your story and to let people know more about CAP. And I'm sure we'll talk really soon again. Sure, definitely. I will see you soon, actually. I know. Yeah, we'll talk soon, and we'll get to see each other again soon, and get to see your family too. It'll be really good. So. Right. Cool. Oh, thank you, Miranda. Okay. Thanks so much. Now we can talk something else. Yeah. Well, that's our show for this week. Join me again next week when my guest will be Justin Sands. Justin is the workshop manager at the Robert Blackburn Printmaking Workshop in Manhattan. We'll talk about the history of the workshop, the life and times of Robert Blackburn, and his contributions to contemporary printmaking. We also get into how the workshop is taking on community printmaking in the time of COVID. You won't want to miss it. This episode, like all episodes, was written and produced by me, Miranda Metcalf, with editing help from Timothy Pauschak and music by Joshua Weber. I'll see you next week.